You know the feeling? At 8 in the morning, your day looks clean, calm, and perfectly arranged. By noon, it looks like someone picked up your calendar, shook it like a snow globe, and put the pieces back down wherever they landed. You promised yourself that you would protect a long focus block. You were sure that you would send those 6 important emails. You were even going to squeeze in a quick workout. Then what Teams happened? Microsoft Teams. Then Slack happened. A meeting got moved. An urgent email arrived with 6 question marks in the subject line. By lunch, your beautiful plan had become a museum piece from a timeline that never even existed. Well, today I want to fix that tiny AI agents that make daily planning simple enough to do and sturdy enough to survive contact with reality. We're not going to build a grand system or even a perfect template that takes an hour to maintain. We're going to build a few small helpers that capture what is on your mind, help you choose what actually matters, place those tasks onto your calendar with sensible buffers, and then close the loop with a 2-minute evening reflection so that the tomorrow that you have benefits from what you learned today. Welcome to Data and AI with Mukundan, where you learn AI by building. I'm Mukundan. Each week, we build a real life problem and ship a practical workflow that you can copy tonight. This episode is a build along. By the end of it, you will have a Notion based OS that uses 3 simple, small agents for capture, prioritization, and time boxing. You can add an optional micro agent for evening reflection. Now, if you want more power, I will also walk you through cross device capture on iOS or Android and with a calendar orchestration that respects your deep work time, a weekly review agent that clears open loops, and a tiny metrics dashboard that keeps you honest without turning your life into a spreadsheet. To start, we should agree on what an AI agent really is. An agent is not a chatbot that simply answers questions. An agent plans steps, remembers context, and adapts when you give it feedback. If a tool only does one of those things, it is just a script. Scripts are useful, but they are brittle. The moment your day changes, the script breaks and you have to manually fix the mess. We are going to build agents that propose sensible actions, ask for your approval before they write anything to your system, and then learn over time which choices you prefer. This is what makes a routine stick when life gets loud. Let me describe the stack. We will use Notion for lists and Google Calendar for time. We will create 3 agents. The first agent captures anything you throw at it within 30 seconds and routes it to the right place. The second agent looks at the pool of things that you could do today and helps you choose a small realistic set that you can finish today. The third agent places those chosen tasks on your calendar in 3 clear blocks with buffers, and it gives you a 60-second kickoff ritual that helps you start instead of thinking about starting. At the end of the day, a tiny reflection agent asks you about your wins, your misses, and one improvement for tomorrow. That is the entire system. It is light, it is quick, and it is sturdy. Let's build the capture agent first. Your brain is not supposed to store everything, it is supposed to decide. The capture agent gives you one simple input on any device. You open the input, type what you want to remember, and press send. The agent examines what you wrote and decides whether it is a task, an event, or just an idea. If there is a date in the text, it extracts it. If there is a link, it fetches the title so that you can recognize it later. It then proposes a destination. You get a preview of what will be saved and you approve the move. The agent then logs the time, the source, and the original text so that you can always trace what happened. If the agent is unsure, It keeps them in your inbox with a small needs review tag so that you can decide later. The important thing is that you can get something out of your head and into the system in under half a minute. That speed is what makes you actually use it when your day is messy. Well, now that you have a place to put everything, you need a way to decide what deserves your attention today. This is where the prioritizer agent helps. The agent looks at the tasks that are due soon, the goals you already care about, and anything that you are marked as important. It gives each task a simple urgency score and a simple effort estimate. Then it proposes a today list that only includes 3 tasks. The list is short on purpose because when you try to do 8 or 9 things, you usually finish none of them and go to bed feeling like you failed. But when you choose 3, you finish most days with a clean slate and a quiet mind. If you try to add a 4th task, the agent asks which one do you want to remove. It records the trade so that your future self does not wonder why half your day disappeared. The result is a today list that fits into the day you actually have, not the day you wish you had. Now, once you have your 3 tasks, the time box agent turns them into a schedule that you can follow. The agent proposes 3 blocks. The first is a morning block, which is a morning deep work block that lasts 90 to 120 minutes, so an hour and a half to 2 hours. The second block is an afternoon administrative block that lasts 45 minutes to 90 minutes. The final block is a small buffer near the end of your day for spillovers and cleanup. Between blocks, the agent keeps 10-minute margins so that you can breathe, stand up, and transition. Before each block begins, the agent gives you a 60-second kickoff. You read the task out loud, you define what done means for this block in one simple sentence. You open the exact file or link you need, you start a 25-minute timer, and then you type the first sentence. Those 5 steps, they may sound small, but they slam the door shut on delay and drift. They are the difference between thinking about the work and actually doing the work. Agents and AI agents specifically are only helpful when they are trustworthy. So we give them guardrails. The agents always ask before they move, edit, or schedule anything. They show you what will change before they make the change. If something fails to parse, they do not guess wildly. They show you a small form with their best attempt and ask you to confirm. They log what they did, when they did it, and why. If you ever needed to audit, the record is right there. When privacy matters, they keep sensitive text out of the log and store it locally or in a safe field. These small choices, they create a feeling that you can trust. Because when you trust your tools, you actually use them. To make sure the day closes well, we add the evening reflection micro agent. After dinner, you spend 2 minutes with the prompt. You list 3 wins, 2 misses, and 1 improvement. The agent pulls entries from your calendar and your today list to help you remember the details. You write short, honest sentences. You're not making a diary, you're just building a bridge from today to tomorrow. And this small loop keeps the system alive because you adjust it based on what is real, not what you hoped would happen. Now, let's walk through a live example so that you can hear how it feels. Imagine it is a Monday. You plan to finish your Q3 deck. You want to reply to 6 emails that matter. You also want to draft a job application. Here you open the capture input and dump the 3 items. The capture agent classifies them as tasks, eliminates the estimates the effort, and proposes destinations. You approve in seconds. The prioritizer notices that the deck has a higher urgency because of a looming review. It notices that the job application is important, but medium effort. It notices that the emails are a small chunk of work that helps other people move. It proposes your today list finish the deck, reply to those emails, and draft the application. And you accept. The Timebox agent creates three blocks. It places the deck in the morning deep work block. It places email and the start of the application in the afternoon admin block. It keeps a small buffer in the late afternoon in case anything runs long. Now, when the first block begins, the kickoff prompt appears. You read the task out loud. You define done for this block. You open the deck and you set a timer. You type one sentence that forces you to start. That is it. The rest of the day unfolds with fewer decisions and less friction. Now that you have the core routine, let's extend it so that it works across every device you use. If Capture only works on your laptop, the system will fail the minute you leave your desk. On iOS, you can create a simple shortcut called Quick Inbox. When you run it, the phone asks you for a line of text. If the line includes a link, the shortcut fetches the page title. It packs the details into a tiny payload with a timestamp and the word iOS as the source. Then it sends the payload to your Notion inbox via a webhook or to a special email address that forwards into Notion. The phone buzzes with a small captured message and a tap of haptic feedback so that your brain knows that the item is safe. On Android, you can use the share sheet and a lightweight HTTP request app. When you share any text or link to Quick Inbox, the app sends the same payload to your webhook. If you're somewhere without good app support, you can set up a unique email address like inbox at your domain that forwards to your Notion worker. The subject becomes the title. The body becomes the raw text. If you attach a file, the system stores the link to it. The system stores a link to it. The capture agent will classify and route everything the next time it runs. The entire point is that capture is always one gesture away, whether you're walking, commuting, or waiting in line for coffee. Scheduling deserves a small upgrade too. Time boxing collapses when meetings collide. The calendar the calendar orchestration piece teaches your agent to negotiate space like a courteous assistant. You can mark your morning deep work block as a hard hold. That means it can only move for an interview, a medical appointment, or a hard deadline. You can leave your admin block as a soft hold that can flex if something important appears. Now, if you commute, your agent adds a short padding before and after offsite blocks. If you have long video meetings, the agent keeps a 5-minute buffer before and after those meetings so that you're not sprinting from one call to the next. If the calendar is truly packed and there is no 90-minute space for deep work, the agent splits that block into two 45-minute chunks and labels the log with fragmented focus so you understand why it felt harder to get traction. When it proposes a schedule, it shows you two options and asks you to approve one before anything is written to the calendar. This keeps you in charge while the agent does the heavy lifting. Your day is smoother when your week has a rhythm. So let's add a weekly review agent that runs either on Friday afternoon or on Sunday evening. This agent reads your calendar, your tasks, and your recent reflections. It produces a short summary of open loops that still need attention, such as tasks that are overdue, meetings that happened without any attached notes, and decisions that you promised to make but did not. It proposes a roll forward plan where unfinished items are moved to the right place or archived with a reason. It suggests three themes for the upcoming week so that your attention is not spread across eight unrelated goals. Then it offers a skeleton calendar with a few deep work blocks, a couple of admin windows, and one recovery slot for life maintenance. The agent asks for your approval first and then writes your choices into next week's. When you start Monday, you're not just staring at a blank page. You're stepping into a shape that already fits your goals. Because we want to stay honest without drowning in numbers, we add a small metrics dashboard. We only track three things: First, we measure habit adherence, which is simply the percentage of days where you completed the 6 minute planning routine. Second, we measure estimate accuracy by comparing how long tasks actually took against how long you thought they would take. Now, when a task takes more than twice your estimate, we label it as underscoped so that you can split similar tasks next time. Third, we measure scope creep by counting how many tasks were added after you finished your plan and dividing that by the number of tasks you completed. If scope creep climbs, you will feel it in your stress. Now, once a week, you glance at these numbers and choose one adjustment. Once a month, if a metric is not helping you change your behavior, you retire it. The dashboard is a mirror, not a judge. Its only job is to help you tell yourself the truth and make one better decision. Every system fails in predictable ways. So let's talk through a troubleshooting clinic and fix the most common problems. Sometimes the to-do list balloons. When you see that happening, keep the rule of three sacred. If you try to add a fourth task, the agent pops up and asks which agent you want to remove. When meetings eat your deep work time, mark the deep work block as a hard hold and give the agent permission to automatically propose a respectful schedule with two choices. Now, when capture becomes noisy with low value items, teach your agent to tag those items. And every Friday, let it suggest a small batch archive so that you can clear the noise without thinking. When the evening reflection turns into a journal, especially a long journal that you can avoid, return to the tiny 3-2-1 structure and capture it at 2 minutes. When you keep skipping the kickoff ritual, put the script on your phone's home screen and tie it to a single button that starts your 25-minute timer. These small fixes take minutes to implement and they restore the calm quickly. Now, let me bring this back to the feeling that we all want. You do not need more willpower. You need a system that moves with you. When tiny agents capture the chaos, it helps you choose wisely. Place the work onto your day with buffers, and it reminds you to start, and your plans begin to stick. When you close the loop with an honest reflection, tomorrow becomes smarter. All this without you trying very hard. You can build the smallest version of this tonight. Open a blank Notion page and create an inbox table. Create a task page with a simple today checkbox and a due date. Connect Google Calendar. Add three small prompts for capture, prioritization, and time boxing. Turn on confirmations before anything is saved or scheduled. Put the 60-second kickoff on a sticky note by your keyboard. Run the routine tomorrow morning and again tomorrow evening. You'll feel the difference in a day. Before we close, here is how you can keep your momentum. If you want my starter kit with the Notion pages and prompts I use, send me a note on my discussion page on my website. It says Life OS and I will send it. If today's episode helped you, please rate the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Takes only a moment of your time and it helps other people who need this kind of calm find it. I record the show on Riverside, I host on rss.com, and I used cider.ai for research. Those links are in the show notes, and if you buy through them, I may earn a small commission. I only recommend tools that I actually use. Now, next time we take this daily system and extend it into a weekly review that you will actually do. We will build tiny metrics that you can trust and a simple habit rhythm that forgives interruptions. For now, remember this: a plan that takes 6 minutes to set is a plan that you will actually keep. Build the smallest version tonight. Make it pretty later. Thank you for listening to Data and AI with Mukundan, where you learn AI by building. I'll see you next time.